Welcome back to no glasses. All right, no glasses. Welcome back to another Star and Buys, and today we're reviewing the 8-bit Do Ultimate Controller 2. Let's jump on into the review. Now, quick disclaimer, this product was sent to me, but all these reviews are going to be straightforward based on my opinion. I didn't get paid by any of these companies to do this, so I'm going to give you my raw, unfiltered opinion as always. So guys, this is the 8-bit Do Ultimate 2 wireless controller, and this is the purple version. If you want to get it by the end of this video, the link will be down in the description. So the big question, guys, is this actually a great controller? Let me tell you a little secret. You're gonna find out. So right away, this controller looks good and the purple color is clean. The shape is familiar and it has those RGB rings around the stick that basically scream iGame, and I want everybody to know it. And guys, the controller also comes with that charging dock, which is beautiful. It's like the cherry on top. With those little details, make the controller marvelous. What I also love about this controller is that you're not just throwing the controller on the desk hoping it has battery life for next time. You drop it on the dock and it keeps moving. 8-bit Do also stores the wireless dongle in the dock, which is smart, but you'll keep in mind the dongle is USB-C, so depending on your PC setup, you might need an adapter. I wish it came with an adapter, but it didn't include it. But for the price, I can't complain. So now we're gonna jump on into the build quality and the comfort. When it comes to the build quality, this is actually one of the better things about the controller. It doesn't feel cheap. It feels solid in the hand, the grips, the texture. It has enough weight to feel like a serious controller without becoming a brick. Officially, it's around 246 grams, so it's not crazy heavy, but it doesn't feel like those toy controllers that you can break. Looking at you, PS4 controllers. And from what reviewers found, guys, the buttons and the bumpers are more tactile clicky feel than a average controller with this price range. Next, let's jump on into sticks and triggers. This is where 8-bit Do is trying to separate itself. Use the TMR joysticks. What does that mean? If you're not a controller nerd, the simple version is that they're designed to feel more precise and last longer than those cheap stuff people replace every year. Looking at you, PS5 controller. 8-bit Do also says this sticks use a 12-bit ADC sampling chip, and the wired and the 2.4 gigahertz mode can run up to 1,000 hertz of polling, which basically means the controller is supposed to feel fast and responsive on PC. The reviews also backed it up, and from my testing, it doesn't feel like the controller has any form of delay. The sticks are one of the biggest things that people actually like on these controllers. And then there are these triggers. So we can switch between the normal Hall effect triggers and the more tactile trigger mode in real life. That means you want a smoother full trigger pull for those racing or driving. You got this. If you want a shorter clicker that feels more like that shooter vibe, you can switch over. That is actually a real feature because it changes how the controller feels without making you buy another controller. And this is such an underrated feature. Now let's jump on into extra buttons and real gaming features. The boy's been using this for a couple weeks and I got a lot to tell y'all. You can also get those 2 back buttons and those 2 extra bumpers up top. So if you like shortcuts, a crouch, melee, reload, whatever you want, you have more option. And I like that because once you get used to those extra buttons, 8-bit Do says that extra bumpers can even be revamped without the software, which is nice if you just want to plug and play, depending on your game settings. Also, if you like crazy over-the-top reviews like this one right now, Cringe City, make sure y'all hit that like button. And if you want to join the squad, make sure y'all subscribe. Appreciate all the love. Now let's jump on into software. For the software, this is one of those reasons this controller is more than just a pretty plastic RE controller. The 8-bit Do Ultimate Software V2 lets you revamp buttons, adjust the stick sensitivity, change your trigger range, vibration control, make macros, and save controller profiles. And 8-bit Do says you can save the 3 custom profiles for each connectivity mode. Let me show y'all how this works on the PC. All right, guys, so let me show y'all how easy it is to set up the software for the 8-bit controllers. So first, you're gonna head over to Google and type 8-bit controller software. You're gonna click on the first link, the Ultimate Software 8-bit Do. And guys, you're gonna search for your controller here. And just for example, you're going to download the drivers. You're going to extract it with a software like WinWar. And then you're going to go inside. You're going to click on the application. You can create a shortcut if you want. And then it's going to show that at first, couldn't find your controller. Then it's going to locate your controller. If it doesn't, make sure your controller is plugged into your PC. And then you're going to go, you can check out the frame rate to update the controller if you need to. But for now, I'm going to show you, you're going to go into profiles. You're going to create a profile. I just created one. And here you can map out your buttons so you can see the back and the front. You can change the buttons. So as you see, I have A at the back as one of my back pedals. So I can press A to jump and keep my hands on the thumbsticks. It's very easy to map out. And you can put, let's say, B here. You also got the macros for anybody. Stick drift, if you want to mess with the stick drift. You got also the triggers, how active the triggers are. So you can make the triggers feel more, and you can switch it around and you can make the triggers get that more stiff. So now it's not gonna go all the way there. If you like stiff triggers, you might prefer that one. Also have the RGB lights you can play around with. So I'll show you also, let's switch this to the fire. You can see it switched. Also, let's go back to the lights. You can adjust them how you want to. And also you got the motion. So if you want to use motion on the control, I think this is like gyro. And guys, that's basically it. Back to the video, guys. So guys, what do y'all think about the software? Is this a deal breaker for you? I think it's a very clean, easy to understand software, but let me know by commenting down below. What do you think? Now let's go on into battery and wireless experience. Battery is where things get a little bit more complicated. The official manual says you get around 25 hours over in Bluetooth and about 20 hours over on that 2.4 gigahertz wireless, and it charges in roughly 2.5 hours. Sounds decent. Well, when checking out real life reviewers and myself, they were less generous. They were getting around 10 hours with those RGBs on and around 15 hours with the RGB off. So a short version is the battery is decent, but those flashy RGB sticks absolutely eats up the battery life. If you love those cool lights, keep them, but just know you're paying for that with your battery health. It's still good. I probably charge it once a week and that's good enough. So you have to know if that's gonna be a bother for you. But for me, it's fine. The good news is that the dock helps a lot. Since the dock keeps the controller topped up and the controller reconnects when you pull it off, it makes the weaker battery story easier to live with, especially if you're somebody who plays at a desk and just throws it back on the charger after every session. Now let's jump on into compatibility and who is this really for. Now this part matters. This controller is best for a PC and an Android controller first, because you get that Bluetooth, wired, and wireless. If you're shopping for a PlayStation or Xbox, this is not that controller. And if you want that one bill more for the Switch, the 8BitDo sells a separate Ultimate 2 Bluetooth version. So before you buy, make sure you're buying the right Ultimate 2, because 8BitDo naming is doing a little bit too much, so it can be a little bit confusing. So please, do your own due diligence. Now let's get on into the final thoughts and the price. Now, is it worth it? Honestly, 100% yes, especially for the right person. This controller is really strong. The build is solid. The sticks are one of the main highlight. The trigger switch is a icing on the cake settings. It's very useful. The extra buttons are nice. The dock is convenient. The back buttons make you feel like a esports gamer. The battery life could be a little bit better. That's the only downside. But those RGB lights though, they look great. At launch, this controller is launched for around $59.99. Though the pricing can move down and up a little bit, check it out on Amazon. I do have it linked down below. So for me personally, I think the value for this controller price is over the top compared to how expensive controllers gotten over the year. I do love how these joysticks are gonna take years to start drifting. And if you enjoyed this one, make sure y'all like the video. And after this, go check out my video on the keyboard versus keyboard. It's gonna be linked somewhere here. CEO, the moneymaker, the one and only Storm Baby. Stay blessed, guys. See y'all tomorrow. Peace.